Hello, this is Carolyn Kinane, Associate Director at the Contemplative Sciences Center at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia, USA. And you're watching the second of a series of contemplative exercise videos that are designed for instructors who are interested in contemplative course design. So if you haven't seen the previous videos in the series, please go back and check those out. This one is on cultivating dispositions. So contemplative pedagogy balances my interest in what I think students should know and do, the content and skills of my discipline, with how they want to be. That is, how they want to move through the world, how I hope for them to move through the world, their dispositions. So the content of a field could be equations or poetry or anatomy, and the field's skills may involve conducting experiments, writing, or performing surgery. But there's also a way of being that gets ingrained as I learn to become a literary critic or an engineer or a medical practitioner, research scientist, professor. Sometimes it's explicit, but oftentimes there is a hidden dispositional curriculum. So we can, in some fields, develop dispositions of suspicion of a patient's ability to know what's wrong with themselves or with a text's capacity to hold meaning. I could be practicing in my field a disposition of an intolerance for ambiguity or diversity. Let's get to the right answer as quickly as possible. My field may encourage in me a disposition of fear-based competition where someone else's success makes me look bad. So other examples of dispositions: suspicious, generous, prideful, curious, critical, intolerant, humble, competitive, relaxed, playful, judgmental, collaborative. How we are, people think about this as attitudes also. And these aren't bad ways to be sometimes. They just aren't my only way of being, and they may not be the best way to be in various circumstances. And so contemplative pedagogy asks faculty to bring some intention to how assignments and courses are shaping students' ways of being, their dispositional habits. So at this point, I invite you to pause and engage in a bit of reflection around dispositions. So 5 years out, what do you hope for students, particularly in terms of what you hope for them to be like? So never mind the content of your discipline, what you want them to remember about medieval Europe 5 years from now. Never mind the skills that you want them to be good writers, but how would you like them to be in the world 5 years out? How do you wish for students to be with themselves, with one another, with ideas and experiences? And take a bit of time to make a list as extensive as you wish. The next step would be, what am I currently doing in my courses to help develop these dispositions in my students? And what else could I be doing? This is an opportunity to look at the habits that students might be practicing in your courses and to get aligned with those practices and your intentions. There's one more exercise in this series, and I always welcome your feedback, and please always feel free to adapt any materials to your own particular goals and your own particular contexts. Thanks.